Well, it certainly is. You've been out on the ground the last few days. This thing is going through the 8th to the 11th. Let's now get into the main story today, the main event, as they say. For those that just tuned in, describe what's happening in Montreal, who's meeting, the name of the conference, the sub-conferences within it, calling openly for world government.
Yeah, so it's the International Economic Forum of the Americas, which takes place every year. It's the Conference of Montreal. It takes place every year. This is the 15th anniversary. And this year's conference is entitled Adapting to a New World Order. Like you said, it's taking place Monday to Thursday, the 8th to the 11th. Yesterday had an opening plenary session at 8:30 in the morning with the head of the IMF, and that one was titled Towards a New Global Economic Order. There's also other forums and luncheons yesterday with titles like A New World Governance and Thriving in a New Financial Order. Today, the topic is energy, health, and there's a lot of focus on genomics, with genome research, genetic research. Today, there's even a plenary session given by the UN, UNESCO, which is part of the UN, entitled Genomics Towards a Revolution. And then tomorrow, there's a big thing watching out for. There's a luncheon at noon tomorrow entitled The Americas and the New World Order, and that's being chaired by Madeleine Albright, actually. And when I was speaking to a reporter yesterday who was inside here covering it, we asked him about the North American Union and whether there was any discussion of the North American Union. And he said,
Stay there. I want to hear the answer to this when we get back with our guest covering what's happening up there in Montreal right now, Sam Labrier. I'm Alex Jones. Stay with us. Sam Labrier is our guest. The article is up on Infowars.com. This morning I was reading email, and I was sent an email. It's here in my stack. I forgot to dig it out during the break because I was doing a quick 4-minute interview on 93.7 here in town with Charlie Hodge. Great guy. And I printed off the, here it is, the Obama deception movie, Moon Battery at its finest. And I was reading the guy's article attacking the Obama deception, and then I was reading his comments under it when people were countering him going, because in his article he says there's no global government, there's no such thing as a new world order, none of this exists. And then people are commenting going, no, there is a Bilderberg group. There is a new world order. And he says, yeah, there's a Bilderberg group. But Alex Jones is just reaching and connecting dots that aren't there and saying they want world government. He doesn't know what they're saying in secret. And he goes, yeah, it might look suspicious to, a moon bat that world elites are meeting secretly, but he doesn't know what they're saying. No, and if you did a review of the Obama deception, you knew that. We show mainstream articles. Bilderberg Group has now gone public saying they're setting up a, quote, new world order. They give interviews to Time Magazine, Newsweek, Financial Times of London, and they say, we're going to have a tyrannical, authoritarian, they use the term authoritarian, world government, and we built it in secret because you wouldn't want it, and we know what's best for you. And it's going to save you from the economic collapse, which they engineered, doesn't mention that, and a new carbon tax to regulate and control every facet of your life. So it doesn't matter when they're in hundreds of mainstream news articles I've seen. We probably put 15 Time Magazine, Newsweek, Financial Times of London articles with them saying it, blowing up the text with Etienne Davignon, the head of the Bilderberg Group, saying it. And what do I get? I get to be called a kook, because I know they're taking over our society. Now, is this guy an operative, or is he just a wannabe? Probably a wannabe. Thinks he's part of the system, thinks he has personal power, thinks by accepting the power elite and making excuses that he's part of it. Unconsciously climbing the ladder. A lot of people are like that. They'll do anything to climb the ladder, even if the ladder leads them downward into hell. Like this guy says, it seems like some of you posting have no idea about Alex Jones and what he said, predicted. Some of you are awake, but the guy with the picture of him, that's the writer, is some douchebag corporate uniform. You need to wake up and realize that material stuff you love means nothing to bettering you as a person. And it goes on. And then the writer goes on. I should have highlighted it. I just printed it. He goes on to say, he goes on to say that, oh, well, I know it looks suspicious. I'll find it during the break. I don't want to make our guests sit there on hold while I'm babbling going over this. He goes on to show the double thing that we're making up. They're having this Bilderberg group sub-conference, steering group meeting in Canada. They said they're setting up a North American Union and a global governance publicly with their own press releases. And this guy says, nope, doesn't exist. Sir, continue. Sam, continue.
Alex, don't get discouraged by the naysayers and the people who call you names. They're only doing that because you're actually having an effect, and they're actually scared of you. So don't ever.
No, but listen,
that.
Sam Labrier, I know that, but the issue is, I don't think this guy. I think this guy really thinks we're making up that Bilderberg wants a North American Union. I don't think he's read the SPP declassified documents. I think he's so delusional he wouldn't look at them if you tried to show him, because he thinks he controls reality. If he just denies this is happening, that supposedly does it. But go ahead.
Well, there'll always be nitwits like that. What can you do, right?
Yeah, but
anyway.
But they run things. They're the minions that the establishment uses to keep this fraud going. But go ahead.
Well, that's why they're so afraid of the internet media now, right? Because we're taking over from them quite a bit. Their credibility is severely damaged. Anyways, as I was saying before the break, tomorrow there's a big luncheon headed by Madeleine Albright, which is entitled "The Americas and the New World Order," which could very well be the discussion of the North American Union that the reporter was telling us about yesterday was happening on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, the closing luncheon, the final event of the whole thing, is titled "The Economic Crisis and the Role of Central Banks. How Far Can They Go?" Which sounds pretty boring at first, but if you look at the subtitle, it's called "NAFTA and the Economic Recovery: The Required Joint Action Between North American Central Banks."
Stay there. Let's break it down when we get back. Long segment coming up. That was a short segment. Absolutely. When you read the SPP documents from 2006, declassified in 2007, in Endgame, we have a bibliography, whatistheendgame.com, has all those documents linked, time-coded for the film. When you link through to all of that, it's just incredible. And I'll explain this when we get back.